Hey, how's it going? It has, well, definitely been a long while. But I am actually really excited to be getting back into content creation, and of course, starting off with a stock mid Spaded, which is honestly one of my favorite series to actually make. And today's stock mid Spaded is going to be on the ME262 A-1a U1, otherwise known as the Squadron 262. Which, speaking of squadrons, if you are looking for a squadron in War Thunder, do consider EG6 or the Eclipsian Guard, which is the squadron I am in. We are looking for members. The only requirements are that you are at either aerial or ground rank 2, and that you are friendly and active. Going past that, today we're on the 262. I gotta try not to spoil it all too much because, as you can tell, this is post-commentary as this is already spaded. The reason why I actually did record an intro earlier, but I'm re-recording it because that intro was recorded like 2 weeks ago because I wasn't expecting this to take as long as it did, and so a bit of that is outdated. But anyways, the skin that I am currently using is live.warthunder skin by Mark Crusader. It is a rather good-looking skin in my opinion. He has a version with the swastika if you want to go historical and have that on there. Of course, with YouTube, I'm not even going to mess around with the idea of having that. But to be honest, I like the version without it anyways, because this is very nice and clean. Without further ado, let's get into the stock game, and hopefully you enjoy. Alright, here we are. We're at the Battle of Malta. Oof, that was... this thing I don't need to take off from an airfield. Oh, that's actually a pretty decent advantage. This is actually technically... Wait, no. Wait. No, never mind. I have played a 262 in air. I just know quite a few people don't really like them for some reason. I'm gonna try to side climb, because this thing does not like to accelerate all too well. For my test flying experience, this thing does seem to keep its energy. It has pretty good energy retention. But its acceleration is not that great. If this had boosters, that would have been the rocket boosters that the later 262s get. That would be great. But I think this 262 is at 7.3, which I think is the middle ground of the 262s. You got the 6.7 Narwhal, and I don't know if they go up to 8.3 or if they stop at 8.0. Alright, we have an F-84B on the enemy team. Two F-84s. I'm not gonna catch those. Another F-84. Alright. I guess we're going to try to flank around the enemy. This is what I do with the F6s. Not F6, F5. F5? Yeah. Yeah. The MiG-28s. It's pretty much the same thing that I do with them, where I kind of flank around them. Crusader Deus Volt. I love names. Yeah, so, should be interesting. I haven't played a fighter variant of a 262 at all in RB. I think this F-80 wants me. Or do I want him? This thing is definitely a bit sluggish, though. I will say that. Alright, well, we got one kill. I'm going to... This is... Yep, I found myself in a bad spot. This is a small map. Let's try to evade out, but nope, I lost tail control. Ow. Well, we got one kill, and that's yeah, oof. Eject. We got one kill. Yeah, this thing's a bit sluggish. But its armament is really powerful. It's got a really good armament. Honestly, I think this thing would also be really good in ARB once you get the bullets. Not ARB, ground RB. Honestly, especially with what they did with the narwhal. But that'll be something to talk about once I'm spaded and I've actually tested it. But anyways, let's just that was gonna be a short game, as expected. A stock jet at this type of BR, yeah, you're gonna have a harder time. But let's jump into the second game. All right, and here we are, halfway through the spading out process. Currently running all the ammunition belts, the airframe ring repair, as well as the engines, to hopefully get the better performance that I can definitely will say, yes, it does perform a bit better than what it does stock. So far, as this plane goes, I have some good games, I have some bad games, like every plane. I do tend to get at least one kill per game. I think usually it's 2, but let's see what. Let's see whether or not this game is gonna be a good game. I might get unlucky and have it be a bad game. Who knows? All right, there's an F-84 right there. Another F-84. There's so many F-84s. I think that guy is going in for the AL-28. We're gonna try to intercept him. Critical hit. Evade. Well, those missed. Don't black out. There's the F3D. Come on, turn. Ooh, he can turn. Pitch up. Roll down. Alright, cut my throttle to try to get him to overspeed. Alright, there you go, teammate. Came in. That's 2 F-84s. Oh gosh. One I got a crit. That is definitely one thing with this. You're fighting a lot of F-84s. Ooh. And here we are. The spaded game. Here's my proof. Finally, I'm spaded. I did not mean to do that, but alright. And what better map than, I guess, a Battle of Britain if the battle happened in, like, late 1944. With experimental aircraft. Yeah. Oh, I have quite a bit to talk about later on in this with this aircraft. I also got to redo the intro because the intro was recorded so long because I did not realize how long this was going to take. Because I didn't realize I could fight the F-84. And by could, I mean I will fight the F-84 99% of the times. That's something I'll talk about. And I see a dot flying real quickly towards us. And look at that, F-84 and F-3D. Alright, I get the feeling this might not last that long. Especially since the F-84 just turned at me. Where's the F-84? He's not turning, which is... Never mind, he is turning. SC-11 brake. SC-11 brake. F7F is coming for me. Try to get it to her. Yep, there we go. This is not a good situation to be in. There we go, P-51 down. Sorry, Mr. 51. Hi, F-84. Don't think I forgot about you. Roll. Evade. And try to slot in on him and release some lead. I am rather hurt. I'm going to try to fly towards friendlies, as that's my best chance of survival. Alright. Friendlies are here. F-80... Up, 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 up. I just need to... I need to return to base. I just got a P-51. And this is actually... I didn't die as fast as I was expecting. I feel bad for that P-51, but to be honest, that is an actual historic... fighting right there. F-84 is dead. And to be honest, if that P-51 killed me, I'd actually much prefer that over an F-84. Well, yeah, we're gonna return to base. I got talking about stuff, and then all of a sudden F-84's the bane of this aircraft's existence. That and that thing, which I'll talk about after this game. I'm gonna make sure people know I'm returning to base, because I am rather badly damaged. And this thing cannot really fly on one engine. I'm gonna engine land. Just because that's what you do with a 262 in this game. Alright, and bullseye. Turn off engines. Always turn off my engines during an engine landing, because I don't trust Gaijin. And I would not be surprised if Gaijin went, and you're on fire. Ooh, you're going in fast. Yeah, that guy was going way too fast. Holy crap. And this guy did the actual method of landing that one's supposed to. Let's wait for him. While we talk. Okay, so of course after this game I'm going to, or after this game ends, whether that be me dying or the enemy team losing or us losing due to time, which I don't think is going to happen. We of course have the talking head portion, whatever. Of course, though, between this and that, there's actually going to be several moments where, because I'm going to be testing this out in not only just sim, but ground as well. So, yeah, I'm going to be testing how this thing plays in ground and sim. I suspect that this should actually be really good in ground. Part of the reason why I wanted to get it, because sadly the narwhal is no longer that good. Of course, I'll go into more detail once I actually know how it flies in sim, or not sim, ground. But yeah, so there's going to be a bit of time between this and that. Of course, yeah. I'm going to also be doing research on parts of this aircraft, like the engine. And really only the engine, because this aircraft is experimental, so not really much to go off of. And, you know, and of course we have the guns, but... Anyways, F8F, climbing decently high. This thing's not that great at climbing. But we gotta do what we can. Thankfully that Horton seems to have pushed the F8F a little bit lower. So now we're gonna go turn. Flatten ourselves up a little bit. And there's a P-51. That would be 2 out of the last 3 vehicles. All 3 of them are fighters. I don't know where the 3rd guy is. That's actually kind of worrisome. Yeah, this game actually is going a lot. Oh my gosh, okay, the F7F just gained a lot of altitude. Of course, the F7F is... Oh, wait, this is F8F. Oh, okay, I'm actually a little bit less scared. Come on, plane. Yep, okay. My plane did not want to pull up. That was probably an error on my own fault. Oh, jeez. Yikes. That was probably a mistake on my part. After reviewing the footage from the final Spaded game, I was going a lot slower than I was expecting, which in turn caused me to struggle when pulling up. So, completely fair on him. That was indeed a misjudgment on my part. I, as I said, thought I was going a lot faster. Anyways, though, going over the history of the Messerschmitt Me 262 A-1a/U1, or as I am going to refer to it past this point, the Squadron 262, there isn't much on this specific variant. The Squadron 262 is a variant of the historic Me-262, the first mass-produced jet fighter, and even as far as the first mass-produced jet aircraft. Do note, the Me-262 is not the first jet aircraft to successfully fly. That title goes to the Heinkel HE-178. There is one confirmed Squadron 262, with some sources saying that there were as many as 3 built. The War Thunder Wiki also states that, and I quote, "One example was flown by one of the most effective jet aces of World War II, Heinz Bauer," hopefully I'm pronouncing your last name correctly, who flew it at the, well, he's not alive, who flew it at the end of April 1945, and with it even, supposedly, shot down several Thunderbolts in the sky over Germany. I didn't come across this in any of my other sources, all of which will, of course, be in the description, but I also didn't do an overall extensive research, nor do I have access to first-hand documents like test flight documents, like Gaijin has, as I live nowhere near Germany, where Gaijin actually has a headquarters in Germany. Not their headquarters, they have a... They have employment in Germany, so they actually do have the ability to access those documents. Now, the Squadron 262 is equipped with 2 Junkers Umo 004B1 turbojet engines. This engine could work on 3 different fuels. Its standard fuel, the J2, diesel fuel, and its least desirable aviation gasoline. One engine had the thrust of approximately 1,980 pounds of force, or 8.8 kilonewtons, to 2,000 pounds of force, or 8.9 kilonewtons. Gaijin, though, has the thrust at 910 kilograms of force, which is approximately 2,006.21 pounds of force. So a little bit more than what the historic numbers are. but not by much. Now, switching to the world of War Thunder and the performance of the Squadron 262, this aircraft is sluggish but deadly in a head-on engagement. The max speed, according to the stat card, is 865 kilometers per hour, or about 537 miles per hour, as well as poor acceleration and a turn time of 28 seconds spaded, which you will have a hard time with turn fights in this aircraft, so I would recommend avoiding them when you can. This aircraft does have really good energy retention, as well as a devastating armament of 2 Mark 103 30mm cannons, 2 Mark 108 30mm cannons, and 2 MG151 20mm cannons. With this armament, you outburst every aircraft you will face with a burst mass of 15.62 kilograms a second. The aircraft with the closest burst mass at your BR rating to the Squadron 262 is the LA-200 with a burst mass of 14.87 kilograms per second, which this does make you, in my opinion, the king of head-on engagements at your BR. Before I go on my verdicts for the aircraft, I do want to make mention of 2 aircraft that you will face, and if you're like me, probably hate to face. The first of the 2 is the Russian Premium Su-11, sitting at 7.0, which, by the way, is 0.3 BR below you. This aircraft will outclass you in every regard except for armament. And from my experience, you will rarely get a head-on engagement with a Su-11 player. They do seem to be quite wise as to not head on you. The second aircraft is an aircraft you will be seeing in 99% of the games because everyone and their mother are playing it, the F-84F. The F-84F is the only aircraft where I would say I'm hesitant to say head-oning is a viable strat. Sure, you're gonna instantly destroy it if you hit, but for some reason, they have an affinity to catch you on fire if they hit. Other 50 cal carrying aircraft do as well, but it just seems like the F-84F is almost always catching me on fire. Maybe it's confirmation bias, I'm not too sure. Surprisingly though, there are 3 aircraft that you can face that carry air-to-air missiles. The F9F8, the Javelin, and the SAB 105s, which I never saw any of these aircraft. Now, finally, the verdicts. And borrowing this from Moxie, I'll give the pros and cons, and then give a verdict on whether you should get it for either air RB or ground RB. The pros for the Squadron 262 are good energy retention, devastating armament, easy to aim guns once upgraded. The cons: inaccurate guns when unupgraded, poor acceleration, poor agility, poor climb rate, and engine burns hot and prone to fire. Verdict for ARB: consider it. With the poor acceleration, the agility, and climb rate, as well as the consistent engagement with F-84Fs, I cannot fully recommend getting the Squadron 262 for ARB. It's not a bad aircraft in ARB if played to its strengths, and I had several great games and really fun ones with it. But I also had several frustrating games where I would get yoinked, usually by an F-86F pilot who is extremely competent. Before I could react and face them, they would take me out. You will indeed encounter players who know full well not to head on you and will avoid head-on engagements with you at all cost. I did encounter several of those, and I'm pretty sure if you were to get this, you would too. Now, the verdict for ground RB? Get it. The Squadron 262 shines in this environment. With its devastating armament and a pen capable of shredding through a lot of the ground vehicles that you will see. Of course, though, of course, and as is the case with most gun cast aircraft, you can't deal with all ground vehicles. You have to choose your targets, and thankfully at 7.3, you'll be seeing a lot of squishy targets like BMPs and Fiat/Opals. I've also had reliable effect against medium tanks, but not so much against heavies. So you do have to choose your targets, as with most gun classes. And even though you will face anti-airs with radar systems, many will start to fire too early, revealing their location, which in turn makes them easy to avoid. I haven't had too much of an issue avoiding these early radar SBA players because they really do have a tendency to start to fire way too soon, which just makes them extremely easy to avoid. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. This video took about 2 weeks to make. A little bit of that is because I'm a little rusty when it comes to making content, as it has been a long while. Up on the screen now, I'll have my stats for the Squadron 262. The top one, I snipping tooled it right after the Spaded game that you guys saw. And the bottom one is my current on date of upload stat on the aircraft. I should be making more content again for this channel, but I'm going to be honest, I won't be following an upload schedule. I'll only really be making content when I really want to. As I stated earlier, if you're looking for a Squadron in War Thunder, EG6 is always happy to accept. Our only requirements are that you have a rank 2 in either air or ground forces, you are relatively active in terms of playing War Thunder, and that you are a kind person. You're not rude. Finally, I may start streaming again on my Twitch channel. So if you would be interested, let me know. And of course, link to my Twitch as well as sources used in this video are down in the description. I would like to thank you all for watching and hopefully see you in the next video. Peace out.